Go live. Welcome, everybody. Hey, it's a beautiful day. I can't turn this around, but there's real clouds. Absolutely no spraying today. Day off today. So, yeah, surprise, surprise. Lighter, happier, joyful, stronger. Yeah. Isn't that strange? What difference is there from yesterday where you like, it was okay, but a little bit heavy, you know? That's right. They were spraying. It was all over the skies. Today, it's gone. Light. What's changed? Food's still the same. You eat exactly the same as you do every day. Exercise exactly the same. All the things that you're doing is practically the same. So what is the one factor that is different? It's the spray. It's the spray. It is making us sick and dumbing us down. Welcome, everybody, to Matt Bayeski YouTube channel. Welcome to the Pure Energy Healing Academy. Yes, I will and always have had people who say, oh, Jesus, look behind him. He's got gods. He's got this, he's that. Had this basically for 20 years. The God behind me is a funny story. It's with regards to the stories of the ancient. And I do believe that there is truth in ancient stories, definitely. This story, particular story of this chappie behind me that is basically loved and revered and prayed to as religious cults do. It's what they do. They believe the stories and they pray to them. Do I believe in that? No. Do I like it? Yeah, I love it. There's another guy here. Let me point to this guy here. There you go. See that guy there? Do I believe in Jesus? Well, I know that there's 13 different stories of the same kind of person that you believe is Jesus that were in different books going back thousands of years before Jesus. So the same story has been told that a child was born in a manger. He grew up and then he was killed and he had thorns on his head. These are stories that date back at least 12 stories, and that's the 13th story. The same story, just different characters, different names. So let me think about that one. Okay, something to think about. Do I believe in that story, that one there? Do I believe that, hey, that's Jesus? Yeah, I do, because a girl in her dream saw the face of Jesus and she woke up and she drew it. That was the particular one that she drew. And in another part of the world, somebody was reading the book and a little boy in the back seat apparently said, hey, that's Jesus. How do you know? Because I see him in my dreams. Great, love it. Do I believe that? Yes, I believe that story. I believe that story. Of course I do believe it. But it's a story, right? It's a story told. It's lovely. Do I bow and pray to a Ganesh? No. Do I bow and pray to this Jesus? No, I don't. Do I bow and pray to my mum here, my beautiful mum? Hello, mummy. Hello, mum. I talk to her. I feel her sometimes. Say, love you, miss you. I hope you're proud of me. I hope I can make you proud every day, which I do. I do my best. My mum was a giver. She was a kind person, very kind, like 1,000 times kinder than me, and forgiving. What a forgiving woman she was. I'm still learning forgiveness every day. But she was a natural forgiver, no matter what. It was forgive, instant. It's okay. Lovely. So I've got Sai Baba. I've got the Buddha. I've got the dragon yin yang. I put that over there and then somebody said, oh, look, he's into evil. He's got a dragon. So he's obviously part of the cult. Hand of Fatima, the blue Buddha, Paramananza Yoginanda. This is a good one. This one affects a lot of people. Mother Teresa. You've lost credibility. Well, actually, I read for a beautiful lady, gave a healing for a long, long time, lots of healings. And one day she brought me a picture and she said, I want to gift you this. Why is that? Well, my dad, well, she thought it was her uncle, but it was actually, anyway, long story short, she found out it was her dad, was very high up as a bishop. And Mother Teresa gave her this picture and signed it because they were friends. And she said, I want to give you that picture. And I went, oh, thank you. What do? Tear it up and throw it away? No, it's okay. And over the weeks, months, and years, oh, you don't want that on your wall. You don't want that on your wall. You don't want that on your wall. I wouldn't have anything on my wall. I'd have a freaking bare wall if I listened to everybody. Yeah, no, I wouldn't have a picture of Bill Gates on my wall. So yeah, you can argue with that. Well, if you wouldn't have that, why would you have that? Right. But no, nobody's ever really brought me a picture of Bill Gates. Like, what the fuck? But they have brought me these pictures, and you know, the sentiment of the love of giving me something is more than what the actual picture is. But discernment is, there is no black and there is no grey, anymore. It's gone. Grey has gone. They've got you. That's where they want you. They want you either black or white. It's either one or the other, or you've lost credibility. All right. So I've been doing this work for 20 years. You've seen me in 20 years and you've seen one post and you say, you've lost credibility. Because I posted something that I thought was funny. So yeah, let's just look at this. Let's just study it for a minute with part brain. Let's see if we can have a little bit of a brain here. Okay, I'll just play it to you if it's still here. If it's taken up. Oh no, it's still here. Okay, so I posted that. It's not real AI. This is AI, Mark. Do not fall for stupid tricks. Sorry, I'm laughing. Fake. A comedy skit. It looks oddly familiar. Somebody's got a little bit of a brain because it is a comedy skit. What happened to people not realizing that there was a comedy skit? Do you ever remember them in the 80s, 70s, 80s? Did you ever watch comedy skits? Obviously, it was a frigging comedy skit. It's AI. This is everybody's message now. Why? Because they're all programmed. Everybody's programmed to say AI. That's why it's done deliberately, guys. Guess what? Everything's AI. It's AI. It's AI. It's AI. Whoa, calm down. It's all right, mate. It's all right. You're going to tattoo that on your forehead. Relax. Calm down. Jesus Christ. Love this one. Sorry, Mark. You're going to destroy your credibility with fake stuff like this. Yeah, well, I like that bit. If it's just a joke, then my apologies. I accept your apology, Sue. It was a joke. If anybody knows me, you know that I don't lean left or right. I have no... what is it? I have no... Pisses me off when I can't remember something. I have no... Anyway, you know what I mean. There's a saying. You can tell me. I have no dog in this fight or fight in this dog, whatever it is, or bone. But you know what I mean. I am not into politics at all. I post pictures, I post videos all the time. It was satire. It was a joke. It was a joke. I mean, obviously it's a joke. He's smelling the breast of a man who's dressed up as a woman. I'm not attacking him. All I said was, and if somebody said to me, hey, Mark, was that AI? I have no idea. Oh, but you're a psychic. I don't know. If I was to hunch my bets as I look at that, I'm thinking that looks like a skit from maybe the 80s. And it looks to me like he did some, like this guy used to do loads of, he's an entertainer. So who gives a shit? But if you're gonna, chain me to a wall and say, what is it, AI or not? I would say that that's real. And maybe I'm completely wrong, but does it matter? Does it matter? Oh, it's AI! It's AI! Your credibility's gone! Credibility of what? What credibility? That I can't discern between AI or not? Or whether you can't discern whether it's just a joke. It's just a bit of light-hearted humor in the sense of look at what this is showing you. And basically what I was trying to, my message was that anybody who goes into politics is basically an actor. That's it. That was the bottom line of it. Look at the actors. They're acting. And I'm not lying. I've seen all actors who are in politics. They always go into politics, these actors. Stemming back for however long. They've all been in acting. They've all done acting. They're all prepared. They're all actors. They have to be. Because once they're in, they know they have to act. They can't be truthful. Acting isn't truthful. Acting is a mask. It wears a mask. Why? Because you're acting. So if you have created an actor, you can then say to them, play this part. Yeah, don't worry, you're acting. Easy. They're acting. It's an act. It's a show. That's why all of these parliamentary guys and women all go into a room and they all have a big fancy meal. They're all laughing with each other. They're all having fun, joking. And then somebody will get up and take the mick out of everybody because they're acting. Wakey, wakey. But what's happening now is AI has created something so powerful that now we are fighting with each other. So what they've done is it's next level fighting each other. Fighting over each other, saying that my credibility is going downhill because of a post. Now, just think about that next time you start to jump into some comment section and start to talk about somebody's credibility. Wake up. They've got you. They've got you by the short and curlies. They've got you by your brains and they're squeezing them and you are doing exactly what they want. You are now part of the greatest psyop called AI, which is turning your brain, which is squeezing all the discernment out. And you're brain dead, programmed morons. That's what this is doing to humanity. We're fighting over a freaking meme. Can you imagine? We are separating ourselves over a meme. What hope do you think, what chance do you think humanity's got of saving itself when it's so easily fooled? I just want to leave it there on that subject. Frightening times. Frightening times. So, let us move on. Come on, Mr. Bayersky. This was sent to me, so let's just listen to this, eh? This is the same woman that I played a video on before. Let's just hear what this one is.
We are moving into the new earth.
Oh, I think I've already done this.
Fantastic.
Huh.
They said the main thing, yes, in order to do this, you must get rid of karma.
All right, we've done that one. Somebody sent me another one, just very similar, which was really good. Really enjoyed it. I wanted to talk about that. Why haven't I got it on here? Bugger. That's not cool. What a shame. I would have really enjoyed that. Talking about backdrop people and all that. Really good. Really enjoyed that. And so, we can agree to disagree. That's okay. No problem. Agree to disagree. I disagree with many things of different people. Doesn't mean I'm going to go, you are a blasphemer. I'm just saying, hey, that bit, let's talk about it. And then we sit down. This is what we used to do here 20 years ago. We're debating. Oh my God, we don't debate. AI does not want you to debate. It wants you to attack. It wants you to discredit. The last thing it wants you to do is to have a conversation. Oh, Jesus Christ, no, I don't want to know that person anymore. Get out of my life. You said this in a meme, so that's to say, hey, they've got you. They're doing it. They know these bloodlines, and they really are puppet masters, and they're laughing, watching us all fighting each other. It's great. They're just pissing themselves at us. How easy it is to make these things do what they want. So easy to fool 95 to 99% of humanity in any way. Did I ever tell you that I've had people come here, right, and look at me after 4 days, and I could see them looking at me in a way that I've never seen before. And I saw this almost like greed come over them. And I used to look at them, and I often used to say, and I said this not in a negative way, not in an ego way. I used to say, you really wish you were me, don't you? And they'd look at me and go, yeah, I do. And I'm like, because if you had what I've got after these so many years, you'd be able to turn that into becoming a millionaire. Yeah, I would be able to. And I'll say, and that's why in my head, I wouldn't say it to the face. And I'm just thinking that's why you'll never be me. Because that is not why I did this. And what you're doing now is taking you further away from who you are. You're just looking for somebody to steal their information, their knowledge, and to package it and make a fortune. And there are people like that. Poor Jordan Maxwell went through that, where somebody came to him and said, I know you're not very good on the computer. Let me help you. I will, do everything and make it look right. And whoever that person was, most of you probably know, stole all his information by going into the backboard and then changing all the passwords so that he then took over it and it was all his. And every little bit of money that was meant to go to him through his decades of work was going to this monster. And there's been many times I've had monsters trying to come into the circle that we were at, and I can spot them a mile off. I can smell. It's not bullshit, but I can smell the deceit. It's so easy for me to smell deceit. As a kid growing up, I smelt it. I smelt the bullying. I smelt the lies. I smelt what all the bullies used to do. You had to be pretty smart when you were a kid at my age, because nobody was there to help you. There was no mum and dad there to hold your hand and take care. It's like, get out and sort yourself out. You'll sort it out. Best thing that ever happened to me. They used to call it, you're not green behind the ears, are you, Bajerska? No, I'm not. Smart. I know exactly what's happening. I'm in tuned and aligned because I've been through it. I've had the slaps. I've had the stolen, beautiful things that my mum bought me. People stole from me. The lies, the cheats, the hustlers. Been through it all, and I think it's important that you do. And when you let your kid, when you just take control of your kid's life and you try and fix everything, that's a disaster waiting to happen. Because when you're not around, they can't discern, they can't figure out things for themselves, and that's a bad place. So sometimes you have to be a little bit harder, which is the hardest thing for mums and dads. You have to be a little bit stronger. And I one of the things that I used to say to you guys and my clients is, you know, your child is a quivering wreck. Your child is like useless. You can see the child is useless, doesn't know what to do. And then the mums and dads I'd say, yeah, we don't know what to do. And I'm like, you know, how do we heal them? And I'd look at them and say, oh, no, it's not the child's fault. It's you. And it's you. Sorry, but it's you two. You need a healing session. You both need a healing session. And they'd look at me confused and they'd be like, sometimes angry, sometimes really upset. And I'd give them a healing session. And after the healing session, I would say to them, you know, imagine yourself as a child and your mum and dad are looking at you. And as they look at you, you look at them and you know that they're looking at you, but they're looking at you in a way like they just don't know what to do. They don't trust you. They don't think you're able to pick up a kettle and make a cup of tea because you might burn yourself, or they just look at you and imagine how you're going to feel now. You're going to look at your mum and dad and think, what's wrong with me? Why are they looking at me that? Maybe I am useless. Yeah, I am useless. Look at them. You're confirming that they're useless and they're not good enough and they're not strong enough. And so who's to blame? Oh, you're right. Yeah, you're right. So what we're going to do then? Cheer up. We've got it. We've got the answer. So what are we going to do? We know what the problem is. Come on, root cause. What are we going to do? Come on. We can make this change now. Let's make it. What do we do? Think about it. What would you want your mum and dad to say to you? What would you want? Well, to say that I trust you and you can do all these things and you go on, that's it, keep going. That you're good enough and get yourself out there and I trust you. And like, yes, exactly. Now fuck off and go and do it then. And then 2 months later, they'd come back. The child, happy, jumping around, playing in my room, got some crystals and all that, and happy. I'm like, ha! Whoa, wow! Wow! Different child! That's not the same child, I'm saying in my head. And I'm not looking at the child saying, well done, child. I'm looking at the parents saying, freaking amazing. Freaking amazing. Well done. Yeah. He goes out on his own. We trust. We know it's fine. We let him play, like we let him do things and we let him break things and we let him do what he wants, but we encourage him. And if there is like an issue, we'll say, oh, like we think we've changed the way we see it. We don't get angry. We just say, you know, like breaking that now, like it's yours. Obviously it's yours, but now you're going to have to wait till you get a new one. We just don't have the money to keep paying for a brand new toy like that. And okay, you're taking it apart, but now maybe next time you take it apart, maybe think about, you know, like unscrewing it carefully and looking at it, and then rather than you can't really do anything with it. Whereas before I used to shout and then I'd buy him another one. I'm like, be upset and say, it's okay, don't worry, I'll buy you another one. It's like the change in the parents, how they deal with their issues is so vital to breaking the mold. of their parents and their parents. And that's a beautiful thing. So with my daughter was amazing. She, like, every mum and dad reacts, no doubt. I'm not saying we don't, we all react. So when she comes home, she's crying, you know, Jesus kicked me. Okay, let's go and see mum and dad. No, I'll deal with it. Okay. I'm talking a little girl, right? Little girl. I'll deal with it. She said, don't. I'll deal with it. Okay, darling. Good for you. Comes home, you know, dad, it's a little bit difficult. I mean, she's this size. She's tiny. What's up, darling? Well, you know, Miguel. I said, oh yeah, he's really nice. Little Miguel, really nice. Yeah. I remember him. Yeah. Well, he told me that he loves me. She's this tiny. I'm like, all right. And like, he wants to kiss me and things like that. And dad, okay, maybe we should go and see the mum and dad. No, dad, no. I'm gonna go and walk on to Calle Malaga. I'm gonna go and knock on the door, and I'm gonna say to him, you know, I really like you, but as a friend. I'm going, that's a good idea. And off she goes. Wasn't that hard? But what I realized that the wonderful thing that we did was take China away from England, bring her here to a village where she was able to walk on her own in a village at 8 years old, 9 years old, you know, and go and play in the plaza where we had a shop in the plaza, and she'd play with her friends, and she gained. She'd come back sometimes crying a little bit. Somebody was a little bit upset. Somebody called me a ginger top or a carrot, whatever. And I could see her, she was growing. I tell you what I saw, what I see in us. The suffering didn't last as long. It was much quicker. It's like she was upset, then it was okay, and they were playing again. And that to me is a sign of growth. Like, not like, oh my goodness, she said what? She said you were a ginger. She called you a ginger. Did you hear that? So she called her a ginger. Oh my God, that's terrible. Reinforcing, making it worse. Never did that. We never did that. Yeah. Laugh it off. You've got the most beautiful hair, and they're jealous because there's only one. Everybody else has got black hair. You've got beautiful flowing. That is the most, you know, in Thailand, they love that color hair. And it's true. When she got to Thailand, all the Thai boys were like, oh, she's beautiful. Funny that. So, yeah. Acknowledge pain is inevitable. We live on this planet where there are people that just enjoy attacking others, but suffering is optional. So don't suffer. Just let it out. Say what you need to say, and then get on with your day. Let it go. Don't think about it. Don't worry about it. And yeah, that's what we did. That's what I did with China. Nico, well, I didn't really have Nico that much. I didn't see him that much. I saw him quite a bit, but not as much as a parent would want to. But he had two dads. One dad was like, his other dad was a multimillionaire, and I was poor dad. So he had a rich dad, poor dad, which is great. Having two dads, having like being able to get into a helicopter and flying to, you know, wherever it is they flew, Switzerland or France, one of their ski resort huts that they owned. So he was everywhere. So he learned to ski. He went to a private school in Halifax. I can't remember what it was called, but it was a private school. So Nico was really lucky. And I used to say to him, if you were with me, darling, you'd be in one of them little schools where you're all beating each other up, and you wouldn't learn what you're learning now, which is business minded things that you never learn at normal school. They just want you to be the worker. But his kind of schools, they're all from China and all from Russia, and they're all like multi-gazillionaire fathers. So he was mixing with all of these kids and learning like how to become a businessman, and he ended up being a businessman. He's doing really well. He ended up being a fighter, and now he's got his own business doing really well. Smart lad, 2 dads, better than 1. Look back in history, look back in your ancient parchments, and they tell you that there was a time where the normal was 13 and 13. 13 was a lucky number. 13 women, 13 men, all 13 astrology of the chart. So it'd be Libra, 13 women, Libra, Scorpio, and all that. And then be 13 men, Libra, Scorpio. And what they used to do, I'm not going to tell you about the sex part of it because I didn't like that. I thought it sounded too, all of it sounded cultish. But saying that, I think what did stand out in my mind when I was listening to it was the fact that some mums love their child when they're born, absolutely love them, hold them, and they just don't want to let them go. And then when they get a bit older, some mums struggle at that age. This was the thinking back then. So some mums in that tribe, in that cult, whatever you want to call it, would then lean towards a woman who was more sympathetic to that age. But more so, everybody played a role in the children's lives. So if the child was a boy and the boy was, say, 10, then this guy over here who might have been a Scorpio is more drawn to him, and then he will then teach him how to plant, what roots are good, and so on. And then he might lean towards somebody else for whatever. So you've got now 13 fathers and 13 mothers, because all the mothers love all of them in their own unique way. So they've all got relationships. So when that child grows up, the child has got 13 people with different understandings that they've learned from, and 13 mums that have shown their love. Wouldn't happen now. Of course it wouldn't happen. So when I was taught this, when I was told this, how this used to be a normal thing, somebody tried it, and of course it didn't work. It didn't work at all, and it wouldn't work now. It's not meant to work now. So it's really interesting. But I'll give you a little example. When I was a little kid, right, my dad would only either shout or be silent. So it's either rage or silence. That was my father, full stop. To do with his upbringing, to do with being in the war, to do with being an arsehole, which people can be assholes, and it was an asshole. Why? Lots of reasons. Hated his job. No problem. Come home, I hate my job, so I'm going to take it out on everybody else. I don't want to talk. I've had a shit day because I can't stand what I'm doing, looking at cloth all day looking at cloth, because he's a finisher, a Worcester finisher. That's all he does, and cleans it. If there's any problems, he marks it, and that's his job all day. Didn't want to do that. He wanted to be an electronics engineer, but he went for an interview and they turned him down, and because he was so proud he wouldn't go for another one, he just went for the next easiest thing. So he got this job and hated it. Great lesson there for me. Great lesson for all of us. If you hate what you do, you're going to hate your life. So find something that you love to do. Oh, can't do that. Too difficult. Well, there you go then. You won't do it then, will you, love? Don't worry about it. You keep being miserable. So yeah, I'm sorry, I've lost my place a little bit. So where was I? They're real clouds today, so I can't be clouded in my mind. So I was talking about jobs. Where was I? Flicking hell, Matt. What are your thoughts on David Icke? I don't even want to go there, guys. I'm really It's like somebody asked me this morning, what's my thoughts on Candice Owens? Is she part of everything? You know, like everybody in this world, right? Nobody is perfect. Nobody is always right, right? Everybody has their own thoughts and feelings. Everybody has their own path to choose, and we can choose whatever path we want. As far as I'm concerned, I'm more worried about people that spend time with people who are pedophiles. Now, I haven't seen any, you know, anything out there that makes me think anything bad of Dave. And I look at the children. Normally you find your children, there's a saying, isn't there, where, you know, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. And you probably all know what that means, that like father, like son. Well, I've listened to David's sons, and I like them. I like them both. I like Gareth very much. I listened to him this morning, just listened to him this morning. Smart, clever. Jamie, smart, clever. He's been on Rich Allen radio show. So if you were to ask me, what do I think is a gatekeeper? No. Do I agree with him on everything? No. But do I agree with my best mates on everything? No, I don't. What I can tell you is that what he put out there, I wanted to go and listen to. Why? Because what he was saying, I thought was interesting. And I thought, wow, that's a bit out there. You know, somebody asked me the other day, people ask me questions about David. Why? Because he picked up a book, Iconic, one of my books, and he held it, and one of the girls took a picture and sent it to me. And I thought, oh, thank you very much. He was using it to kill flies, right? I was just joking. It was just a joke, right? And that was nice. He would never read my book. I know he wouldn't. And I won't read his books because they're too long and I can't read. So that ain't going to happen. But I sit and have a chat or sit and listen. Of course I will. And I'd love to debate with him on what I believe is they say false light. I'd love to debate. And I've tried, but I'll try again when I go to Iconic in a few weeks in England. And I'm booked in for an interview, and that with Gareth, and we're going to have a long interview, and I'll mention it. It's just a debate over the light. Yeah, it pisses me off because I know what I know and what I've seen. And in the book, The Trap, he apparently says, don't go into the light. So we all have our beliefs. Does that make him a bad person? Does that make him a shill? No. He's just put his belief system together, and what he's read and what he's learned from other people that is being around, and he shares his stuff and is entitled to, just like I am. I'm entitled to say, no, I think we vibrate naturally home. I think it's a natural thing. But here's the reasons why. And I haven't read his book, so really I shouldn't really comment, but I did. And I do. But I won't fall out with somebody because I disagree with them. I got tons of friends who've been jabbed up to the hill. Love them to bits. They're my mates. Shut up. It's only a jab. Just shut up. Let's get on with it. So, stop talking about that shit. It's not important. You're right. Shouldn't. Let's not talk about it. It's done. Well, it's done now, isn't it? What can I do? So shut up. They're right, from Yorkshire. You're right. I should shut up. So yeah, somebody asked me the other day, if he was genuine, he'd be dead by now. He'd be shot and killed. I have a different take to that. I have a different take to David. Do you want to know what my take is to why David was never killed and shut up? I mean, he can't travel. But maybe you might say, oh, well, that's a gatekeeping thing. They do that deliberately. So you all think is what it is. Well, I'm not that kind of paranoid where I start thinking things like that. But my take on it is the take of lizards. I think that was actually the most amazing thing that he ever said without realizing. Because once he talked about lizards and the Queen, which lizards are real, of course they are, if you just need to look at anything to do with the military industrial complex and any of the soldiers that have seen certain, let's call them spiritual beings of some kind. They are, because I look at the spirit rather than the bodysuit, and the bodysuits are, either lizard-like, and they talk about it. Loads of military people talk about it. So it's real. But the beautiful thing about that was that he cannot be taken serious anymore, right? Well, you don't need to kill him. He talks about lizards. Why do we need to kill it? In fact, let's highlight him more and talk about the lizards, because that's even more of a debunker. And then he actually looked like conspiracy. Oh, yeah, look what we can do now. We could take lizards and use that. Why would you want to kill him? No, they kill the people who don't talk about lizards. They kill the people who just talk about the system and they've got credibility. They're the ones they take out. Take them out. So I think the lizard saved his life. He would disagree, of course. He would turn around and say, no, it's because I'm protected. And and surely he is protected. When I saw him at one of the shows that I went to, I actually said to Richie, because Richie announced him on stage, and I saw his energy around him, and it was really strong. And what I found fascinating when I was sat there, and it was beautiful, I've seen this at an event that I was at, which I was giving it wasn't me who was giving the talk until the very end, but somebody was giving a talk. And in that talk, I closed my eyes and then opened them, and at the top of everybody's head was a bright light. And I glimpsed it very quickly. You sometimes see through the veil of veils, and sometimes you see things that, like people say, oh, I just saw there was a lizard on somebody's back. Sometimes you can see through the veils. All right. And I saw these lines, and my heart went like that. And I'm like, and then it disappeared, probably because of fear or shock that I've just seen this. And I remember getting up on stage and saying to everybody, if you saw what I saw earlier on 3 hours ago, you'll be all blown away. You were all connected to some kind of beautiful light above you. And I could feel the energy in that room. The guy who was talking really beautiful. He said something so profound. And it was at that moment I saw this light shoot onto them and then disappear. I saw the same thing at David Icke when he was on 9 hours or 10 hours. It was 9 or 10 hours, right? And guess what that 9 and 10 hours was? At the very end of David Icke's conversations for 12 hours, 11 hours, is what can we do? How can we make a difference? And it was all about love and taking your power back and stuff like that. And that's when I saw this light over everybody. And it was fascinating. That I'm sure there's moments where we just get this light that just beams up or down. Which way, I don't know it was coming from, but fascinating. So, yeah, I like to have an open mind, and I don't like to have a closed mind. There are obviously times when I see pure evil at work, and I can see it, pure evil at work. I do believe that everybody now can be hijacked, depending on what you're going through. If you're in a bad place and you're taking drugs or alcohol, or if you're angry, I think we can be hijacked by entity now more than ever before. So that I'm very, very aware of now, even in myself. I have to check in on myself all the time. and work on myself, clear myself, heal myself every day, spray myself. I'm fucking coming on here with imagine coming on here and having an attachment. Jesus, Mary and Joseph. So I'm very aware of that. You probably asked me if there's anybody that I would completely say is demonic and evil. I do wholeheartedly believe that there is more demonic and demons attached to gates from hell. Billy Boy, Fauci, I think, is a pure evil soul spirit. Same, like I say, Billy Boy is the same. I think there's loads of attachments in them as well. They're feeding from attack. I think it's like, come in, feed, work with me. Just like you feed and work with spirit world, you know, come close. When I'm doing a healing session, spirit world, come close, helps me heal. Well, if you come from an evil world and evil spirits are around as well, which makes sense, then they're going to feed and work with you to do even more evil. So, you know, Klaus Schwab's, you know, all of those. And then, you know, everybody, unfortunately, in the seats of power. I'm sorry, but I feel, I mean, real seats of power, you know, where they're not in power, they're just controlled, but they're controlled because of who they are. You have to be a certain type of person to be in those seats of power. And it's normally to do with the cult of Baal, I think. So, yeah, there you go. Well, you know, 99% of the world would have a field day with David Icke mentioning lizards, right? But I remember when I was a kid and I saw the show, Terry Wogan, everybody watched it, everybody saw it because it was a big show. And I remember him coming on and saying that I'm feeling really bad. I felt really sorry for him. I wonder how many people felt sorry for him. I wonder if 95% felt sorry for him. No, I think us, the 1%, who have empathy and rise above the crowds that laugh and say, no, that's not right. Everybody's laughing and enjoying it. Yeah, kill, everybody, you know. Oh, good for business is a hanging, as they used to say. Good for business is a hanging. You know, all the crowds, yeah, coming to watch the death of somebody being hanged. And then you're in that crowd feeling bad because you're thinking that person's being hanged and they've got children. And, you know, what if they're being hanged for the wrong reasons? And it doesn't look like they really have done anything wrong. It looks like they've probably spoken the truth, or they're a good healer. And, you know, it's a woman who sees more than the bishop does. So let's kill it. Let's kill it because it's evil. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it's not something that I laugh at. When he talked about it, I was very interested and I was open to it. I was open to, let's look at this. Let's not laugh at it. Let's look at it. Like I wanted to know. I remember asking in the room, asking, what does he mean? What did he mean by that? And I was fascinated by it. Like I wasn't spiritual but I was fascinated to what all that was about and why they were laughing at him. And I didn't like they were laughing at him. When he said, oh, they're laughing at you, I felt terrible. I felt terrible because I see myself in that position, going through that, feeling that. Just like if I see somebody being killed in Gaza, I feel like it's me dying every day. I feel like anybody who's, you know, Ukraine fighting for what they believe and they get killed, we're all just pawns being killed. We're all rats. That's all they see us as, rats. And all they're interested in is kill, cull. Feed from the energy of that. Kill, cull. More trapped spirits in the world. Good. It's changing the frequency and the energy all the time, making it lower and denser. It's what they feed from. It's why there's deaths all the time. Only takes a second to go and sit in a room with two leaders and say, let's have peace, and it's done. That's how easy it is. So then you realize that it's got nothing to do with that. It's to do with a deliberate culling of humanity all the time. And the hardest thing for them is to figure out a way of how to get the 99% on board with it. So let's cause some issue. Let's cause that. Let's make this happen. Do that, because we wouldn't do that normally. Let's MK Ultra and let's grab them from children and get them ready for what we want them to do. Let them train them, get them ready, and then kill them and burn them, and so that there's no evidence. You know, we've got a culling to do, so let's make sure, let's get this die Anna, and let's get her in this certain tunnel where all of the cultists used to, you know, come at that particular place. And before Paris was Paris, right? Before it was Paris, that tunnel was where they used to do all the sacrifices, specifically where she died at that 13th pillar. Oh, 13th pillar, 13th. Wonder why that. Oh, interesting. Yeah. Yeah. That place there, that place called Paris. And where did we get the name Paris from when we look back? Think about it. It's all connected. So, yeah, anyway, it is what it is. But there you go. I shall head off now. I wish you all a lovely day, guys. Thanks for joining me. It was just a chinwag, and try to be a little bit more open-minded. And if I post something, try not to get too upset, and try not to think that I'm a gatekeeper or that I'm losing credibility. Just try not to let the program brainwash you. Just try your best for those that struggle. And for the rest of you, love you all. Stay strong, be focused. Don't let the system win. Don't let the program get into you, and stand out of it and look at it and observe it and just smile and eat your popcorn. Take care. Bye for now, guys.